So today I'm speaking to Professor Martin Watts, who's from the University of Newcastle in Australia. He's also a Senior Research Associate at the Centre of Full Employment, otherwise known as COFFEE. And Martin's had a long, challenging period developing teaching methods and teaching curricula in modern monetary theory at the university in a standard economics program. And he's also one of the co-authors of our macroeconomics textbook. So welcome, Martin. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And I just wondered whether you'd like to share your experiences on what the challenges are, what the issues, the problems, the difficulties in teaching a new way of thinking about economics, that is modern monetary theory, in a standard economics program.
Okay. Yes, I've taught at a third year level course drawing on modern monetary theory. But in 2012, I started with a colleague teaching first year macro at the university, drawing more fully on modern monetary theory. Now, when thinking of how macro should be taught, I think the first point is that it has to be acknowledged that macroeconomics is contested. And secondly, that it is no use simply hiding that until the last week of the semester or the last of a 4-week course or whatever. It has got to be front and centre, that the discipline is contested. You're not going to be able to sit back and learn a set of ideas. You're going to be challenged. Now, the mainstream textbooks are very poor, and I would argue the way that macroeconomics is taught is typically very poor. There's minimal or no acknowledgement of competing views. Now, the textbook is the first textbook that examines modern monetary theory in an appropriate way for teaching purposes. But also, it is not a monist course. It doesn't just focus on modern monetary theory. It also points out the deficiencies of the mainstream approach. So it is challenging the student from the beginning. Now, the key to any course being taught is to ensure that it's relevant. And in terms of economics courses, one might be talking to lay people, one may be talking to economics students in first year, or art students. So there's a variety of backgrounds, but the key point is relevance to their day-to-day understanding of the world, which may not be very refined. The textbook emphasises the centrality of government in the economy, and that is of fundamental importance. Mainstream textbooks don't, and they may introduce it late on. And something that I've been increasingly aware of is the fact that in explaining the role of government, one can get a lot of insight from seeing how those important institutions, Reserve Bank and Central Bank, the Central Bank and Treasury, say they operate. So grounding the course in institutional practice, in other words, how these entities operate, is absolutely crucial. And very early on in a course, it seems to me, some very counterintuitive ideas can be presented. And one such idea is that government spending is not financially constrained. It's constrained by overall spending in the economy relative to the physical capacity of the economy. In terms of the design of a textbook, it's important to recognise that, at least with respect to our textbook, we are trying to appeal to a relatively diverse market. both of economics students, business students, art students, but also lay people as well. And to devise, say, a first year or introductory course that is going to be acceptable to everybody is really pretty much impossible to do. Now, the textbook itself, of course, covers 2 years. Now, that is a challenge in itself for somebody teaching the course as a first year or introductory course in terms of what to include. But certainly the emphasis should be on the operation of a modern monetary economy, talking about the expenditure system, the monetary system, having an understanding of institutional practice, and really important, I think, is a focus on policy. Because what is necessary is whether a student or layperson is going to study further or is merely satisfying some requirement that they have to do a semester of macroeconomics. They want to take away something about the macroeconomy and have some understanding at a level that you find in the serious media. So understanding of policy, which is obviously integral to the institutional practice of the key bodies, Treasury and Central Bank, and understanding of policy is really important. This enables students to listen to when the central bank governor explains the latest monetary policy decision. So at the very least, there is some ability to understand contemporary debate. And this means in terms of students who go on to further macroeconomics, they have a very good grounding in how the economy works. They don't have a lot of refined theory that can be developed later.
Okay, thanks very much for joining me, Martin, and all the best.